And thank you for joining us back with Microsoft Office Excel. We are doing Lesson 1, Exercise 4, and covering Assignment 4 in this video. So please find your book, join me, page 379. We are on Exercise 4 of Microsoft Excel. 2 words to refresh on. The first one will be label. And this would be anything you put in a cell that's not going to be counted in any kind of formula. It'd be a non-numerical term. Then we have a value, which this would be any kind of number. A value could also have an equal sign, a plus sign, a minus sign, or even a dollar sign. These could all be values. And typically your labels are going to be letters, and your values will be numbers. But what if you want a number to be a label? Well, then you simply start with the apostrophe and then you type your number. Notice this green little triangle that appeared right here. Good, and I'm going to try to focus on this arrow. And there's that little green triangle inside of that box, and that's going to tell us that there's an error message. One thing I do want to point out though is in the cell, notice in our formula bar there's our apostrophe, but actually in the cell you do not see it. And this little symbol right here, and I'm going to try to zoom in on him. Right here. That is Excel's ways of telling us that we have an error somewhere. So if I put my mouse and then click, I'm given a few options. If I did in fact want this number to be a label, I would just say ignore, and the triangle will go away. But if I did make a mistake and did not need the apostrophe in there, then it lets me know that there is an error. With Excel, you're going to do a lot of spreadsheets, and so entering dates is very important. Some easy ways to do that, like say, for example, I'm doing this on September 18th, so we'll put SEPT space 18, and then I hit the Enter key, and notice how it changes the date into that format. If I did 9/18 and hit the Enter key, it does it the same way. If I do 09-18-14, it gives it to me with the slashes. I could do 09-18 and I get it the same way. How about 09/18? Still the same way. Okay, I'm working with this 09. Let's try the other slash. Nope, /18. And I still get it. 09/18/14 gives it to me in the slashes. But I did learn this. A quick, easy way to put the date in is there's a shortcut key. Find the control button on your keyboard, do control semicolon, and the date automatically appears. If you want the time, which could be handy for some spreadsheets, do control shift semicolon, and then it puts the exact time in there. So pretty cool feature. Okay, I'm going to clear what I have so far, so I'm just going to click in any cell above it, make sure it's all around it, then I'm going to hit the delete key and to clear that out. Moving page 380, flip over, find create a series of numbers, for example, 1, 2, 3, and let's say I had to go all the way to 20. I would highlight what I have so far and find this little square, and I'm going to zoom in on it. This little square right here. Click on him with your mouse and hold and drag it down, and notice my little number changes as I go down, 11, and then if I stop, boom, I've created a series. I can do this with the dates, so I'm going to do control semicolon, a And then I'm going to say tomorrow's date, so 9/19/14. I'm going to highlight both of these and then grab that little box. And so now it increases by 1 day each time. I could do the same thing with months. Control semicolon. Hit the enter key. Then I'm going to go 10/18/14 to put October 18th. Highlight both of those. Grab that little square. Notice every month changes this time, but the 18 stays the same. Okay, this will do it for days of the week too. Monday, Tuesday. Could even do it with months of the year. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Continuing with series. Let's see, I'm going to try 1, 3, 5 this time. 7, 9. Notice the little gray box tells me where I'm at. And it continues that pattern. Let's see if we can count by 5s. Oops. Let's undo. I did something I wasn't supposed to there. Let's go 5. Whoa. Hang on, I'm going to pause and fix that. Okay, I'm not really sure what happened, but I'm just going to delete this row. So I'm going to right click and then tell it to delete. And let's try again, see if I can count by. No, still didn't work. Let's delete him. We're just going to go to row E. I don't know, but let's see if we can count by 5s. Look at that. Okay, so series. Let's see if they can go left and right. Sure can. So just a couple. Series is a good feature in Excel, just to put some data in there very quickly. I'm going to delete what I have here, and hopefully that little thing doesn't show up again. Let's go on page 381. Change the data alignment. By default, labels will be on the left. Values will be on the right. However, I can still change that in this area, in this part of the ribbon. I can center it, I can make it left, and then I can make it right again. So just remember, numbers by default numbers for formulas will be on the right hand side. One feature that's not in the book, let's see, I'm going to take row 3 and I'm going to make them really wide. I notice that's at the bottom, but if I look in the ribbon under the alignment group, notice we have some different buttons. This changes where my labels are, or my values are. So I could go center, center. Makes it nice and pretty. Let's see, undo, 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 and there we go. All right, continuing. Let's say we have a really long bit of information, or maybe even a sentence that needs to fit in there. For example, Bonham School. Notice it kind of fills in 3 cells. So I'm going to go the one in front of it and the one behind it. And then in your alignment group, merge and center, you do have a few options here. I'm just going to do merge and center, and then now this becomes one cell. It put Bonham Middle School in the middle. If I don't like that and it messes up my spreadsheet, I can simply unmerge the cells. And let's see, let's try a different one. Let's go to merge across. And then I can go back, put it center. So merge center is a pretty quick way. It does 2 steps in one. And lastly, changing column width, page 381. 2 ways you can do that. The easy way I know is to just go in between, like for example the C and the D with your mouse. Notice how the arrow changes to arrows on each end, and you can change the column width to fit your needs. But if you find that symbol again and double click, Then it gives me a perfect width for my labels or my values. There's also a place in the ribbon to change the cells, and it's right here. Here's your cell group, here's your format box, and you get a little drop down menu, and there are different kinds of options here. You could manually enter your column width, you could definitely auto fit your column width, or go to default width. Okay. Another little handy feature is if I go to the letter, click and hold, and say highlight all of those, and then if I change one width, it changes them all for me. Okay, we'll try that one more time. Go to the A, and then let's shrink it down, and then they all get shrunk down. Okay. And that covers our topics for today, and we are ready for our lesson. And to do our lesson, we're not even going to use this one right here. We need to go and find, let's see, let's open him. We need this one right here that says O2MAAC invoice. We're going to need that one, and oops, it says it can't be found. Let's see if I can find it on my desktop. And here it is. Here's the one we want. I'm going to open him, and there he is. If you remember, this is from 2 days ago, and we'll be using this form. We're going to add to it for our assignment today. Yep. And actually, we're going to save as to begin an Excel workbook, and we're just going to change the name to 04 on my desktop, and make sure I get right by the 2, backspace one time and change it to a 4. Number 3 tells us to save it as this file, and notice that my name changed at the top. Good. Let's move on. Number 4, B12. Find B12, and we're going to insert the phone number, 288-0217. Easy. And number 5, we're going to complete the section under the words invoice and shown in illustration A. And illustration A can be found on 385. So let's pause, and you fill in the missing information, and then we'll move on from there. Good. Hopefully yours looks like mine now. You have the date in F3, and I just put the same date that was on that page. We have replaced customer number with member number. We added the member number. We added the invoice number. I left my name right there, and then we put the 4 quantities in. We put the 4 unit price, and then we put the line total. And I'm pretty sure that this is all, oh, yep, there's the subtotal. If you'll scroll down, it all added up for you. Good, page 384. Let's be on number 7. It says change to the account tracking worksheet. We don't actually have that. We're going to make it. And so look down here at the bottom, service invoice. And there is a way to make another worksheet. So click right there. And now we have a new sheet. And actually, let's change the name of it. And so we're going to right click and rename our sheet to account tracking. Then hit the enter key, and it sticks. And we actually find the account tracking. Look on page 385, and that's what we're going to build right there. So let's begin, and we're going to do it step by step because we're going to put a formula into this one. So let's begin. If you would fill out row 1, row 3, row 4, and row 6, and then resume. Before I do too much more, I'm going to go ahead and make the width of column A. I'm going to change it to fit in with right in the middle there of D. And then I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Chen's name, and then I'm going to put his member number, and then I'm going to put his total charges. And we're ready, and we're going to go back up to row A or cell A1, highlight all the way to C1, and we're going to merge and put it in the center. And then we are ready for row 8, and let's put in payment tracking. Put a semicolon. Oh, we need to make A wider. Now we're in B, and according to illustration B, we're going to be on B9. And let's put the date in. And let's do 9/1/2007. And then do 9/11/207. And let's try that little series trick. So click and hold on both, find that little square. And we need to go down to 17, which should be 11/10. And I get these symbols, and that tells me that my column is not wide enough. So if I increase the width, now my dates show up, and they are exactly like it is. The date's going to be in the center. Then we're going to put AMT paid. I'm sorry, PD. Wasn't even looking. And then balance. And let's increase the width of both of these. And then I'm going to do both because I want both of them to be centered. Let's enter in the $50 paid. And then on 9/21, he paid $75. Now here's where we're going to enter in our formula. So make sure you're on D10, and to enter a formula, start with the equals. And we're going to use our mouse to click what we want to start with. And since we're doing a balance, we have to start with this beginning balance. And then we're going to subtract. So click the minus sign, and then we're going to do our amount paid. And then hit the enter key. And that matches just perfectly. Now this one's going to be a little bit different, but we're going to do the equal sign again. But this time we want the one right above it. So we're going to click. Notice it tells us D10. Do the subtraction. And then this one right next to it. This would be C11. And this amount shouldn't change because there was no payment. And we start all our 312. Now all the rest of these will be exactly the same. So I'm going to go back to D11. I can right click and copy, or you can do Control C. That let me know I've copied that cell. Let's start in D12, and then I'm going to click and hold, go all the way to the bottom. I can do Control V to paste it, or I'm going to right click and paste. Hit Escape on your keyboard and it'll remove those lines. And there it is, our numbers all match. Then let's find C21, and we're going to put a total here. And an easy way to do that is in the Home tab, find where it says Auto Sum. We're going to click. And actually we're going to change where the sum is. This is where it's defaulted, but we're going to change it to start here and go all the way down to each one of our payments. And right now I'm clicking and holding, and then I'm going to let go, and there's my range, and I hit the enter key and it sticks, and it added all those up to 125. For this formula, we're going to put a formula here. So let's start with the equal sign. And we're going to start with our beginning balance, our total charges. And we're going to subtract it from our total payments. Minus. And here's all our total payments. Enter makes it stick. And now we have done illustration B. And I realize I forgot to put balance due. Hit the return key, we'll make it. And one last thing to do to finish. In row E, notice the balance due sticks over the edge. Double click in between E and F. And let's make that fit a little bit better. And let's save. Save as. Change to our desktop. 04assignment invoice on my desktop. Yes, I want to replace it. And now you are ready to turn this in to your Google Classroom.